Well, good morning everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 19th of June 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Okay, interesting week here, interesting week overseas, interesting week on the crude market, changed the balance on a few stocks, especially our energy stocks. We'll have a look at that a bit later on. And I'm going to focus on the trend reversals this week. We looked at the new highs last week, which was one of my two patterns. But this week, the trend reversals, how and why they work. And we'll talk a little bit about those this week. Okay, first we're going to get straight into the trend intensity ratings. For the week, again, we've got the metals back on board. We've got Challenger, which is a new entry, which has just come in. Capricorn Minerals is back. Sigma here is looking interesting. It's potted about a little bit since listing. It's now starting to get a little bit of demand. We can see some selling that's occurred here, some big selling waves, but generally we've got some pretty good green bars here, slowly pushing the price higher and higher. Trend intensity rating is plus 10. Everything looks okay there. I mean, it's above the average. Volume's okay. Momentum is positive still, although it's slowed a little bit from this sharp jump up here, but everything looks pretty good there, so we're holding fast with our Sigma trade there for the moment. Emerald Resources there, EVN, so the golds are back. Genesis, we've got our old stalwart Medibank Private, which has been a real surprise packet after being in such a doldrums for a long time. Metcash has broken back in, always surprises when it breaks back in. We've got that consumer staples where we've got Coles going up, Woolworths is sort of struggling, and now Metcash has made a bit of a jump, so interesting one there. Then we've got Newmont, which is also making some new highs, looking rather good from the back of gold, and Orica, which is a reasonably recent entry, which is also looking okay. So there's some good stock picks for you. We do have a few more 10 ratings there, but you have to go to the site to check what those ones are. Okay, so our stock pick count is up 4 this week to 49 stock picks of 156. If I look at the cross section of what the contents are, I have 22 all-time highs being made. I have 17 new highs being made, and I have 10 trend reversals, of which we're going to concentrate on this week and have a look at that. So there's a lot of new highs being made, some good stocks which are moving quite well. Okay, so firstly, let's go straight into the overseas markets. I was mentioning our portfolios. They're basically all pretty well full. Can't do much about that. They're doing okay, no problem there. There's not a lot of shuffling been happening over the last few weeks because their portfolios are full and the stocks within them are running okay. So firstly, overseas markets. Dow Jones, again, not a lot of change here. We're still mid-range. We're chopping about a little bit there. S&P the same. Excuse me, just short of the highs there, as is the Nasdaq. So we're waiting there. The market doesn't tend to want to push it through at the moment. There's a little bit too much nervousness going on. And you can see the volumes there, pretty steady. We've got some selling that occurred there, which drove it down. The last move has been up, which has had some selling, but more buying and selling there. And momentum's starting to move above that neutral level, which is probably pretty good. But ultimately, we want the highs to go if we're going to get any significant moves there. Gold. It's broken up again out of that little sideways pattern it was in for a couple of weeks. Still strong, good volume, good momentum, and the stocks are running really nice. As I said before, Newmont's making new highs, Evolution, things like that. So they're still running, amazingly enough. Copper, well, it's still in that same situation. It's not breaking down. It's holding up above that little trend line, above that average. Volume is quiet, ominously quiet, and momentum is positive. So it sits there waiting to do something. The sellers haven't hit it yet, like they did last time a couple of times. So we haven't had that happen yet. But certainly you can see a battle going on there. You can see some long wicks up there that get sold off, but it's not breaking down. So we just wait there, quietly confident we're going to see some sort of break up at some stage on copper there. Crude price, well, we had the jump there. How does it look? Well, not that fantastic. We had a bit of volume for a couple of weeks. We've had a bit of a price advance. Hasn't really done much damage to the downtrend as yet. And we'll have a look at Woodside in a second, but really this is still not really very bullish at the moment. It's recovered a bit, but that's about as best as I can say for the moment. So if we're going to have a look at Woodside, you can see as well, this one is also, it's broken this little downtrend here, broken the moving average, had a good rally here. So what am I looking for when I'm looking to buy the market, buy the stock? I'm looking for a new high, which we're not getting at the moment. Or I'm looking for a trend reversal, which I'm not getting at the moment. So a trend reversal now, what I'd be looking for is a pullback to a higher low, then we see a break of the recent high. So there's a little bit of work to be done there on Woodside. If I just go back, push this back a little bit, you can see there's been a bit of volume, a bit like crude. We have seen some good volume here, which is good. But this has really been fairly firmly entrenched downtrend here in heavy volume. This is a bit of a reaction to what's happening overseas. Whether that unfolds as a serious trend change, we'll have to wait and see. So that's what Woodside looks like at the moment. Trend intensity rating is still -6. So a bit of perspective there for you on that one there. You can jump in if you want, but for the moment, we're going to stay still and just wait to see what happens. Okay, so in my next chart, so I'm now going to go through the trend reversals that we have, which is about 10 of them, and you can see how the success rate is going, how they're performing, and what they're looking like. So first we go to Megaport, which we know had a good break up. It's up about 20% since we got into this stock, so it's been a good move. We've seen the rally here move from about 11 to about just above 14. We've got some reasonable volume here. We've got good momentum. It's above the average. Trend intensity rating is +9, which is good. This is a small trend reversal here. We've got the rally here, a pullback to a higher low, and then it pushes through there. And then we've got a larger one back up here, which I've talked about before. So it looks interesting, Megaport, from where it's come from, that big downtrend there, but it's looking okay. As it moves on this area up here around about $15, and then we've got the ultimate highs of around $22. So if you like this stock, it looks interesting to me in a price basis. We've had a very good trend reversal, and we've had a good response to the trend reversal. TPG Telecom, another one. Most of these stocks have been in downtrends, and we've seen this move go from sells to buys, and I like these sort of moves because they're the evidence base. There's lots of content in there. So if we look at TPG Telecom, it has been in a downtrend for quite some time, as we can see there. But then we get this big accumulation pattern through here. So we're getting that move from downtrend accumulation to uptrend, and here we get a little move here through the moving average, through the downtrend line, a good sign. We get a bit of volume. We'll just push that up. We can start seeing we're starting to get a bit of volume through here, and then it pushes up through this trend reversal prop here. So we've got a low here, a higher low here, or similar low here. As long as it doesn't make a new low here, I'm not too concerned if that's a double bottom at the same level. This really is the area I'm looking at here, which is now got through TPG. So we've got a confirmed trend reversal here. Now it's responding quite well and jumping quite well. R1's our first stop here, which is up around $6. Trend intensity rating is 10, so it's looking very good to me from a trend reversal. So that's another good trend reversal we've got. Metcash, excuse me, another exciting one, which is, it does yield a little bit this one, but we've had a big downtrend here. It fell down to a big support level here, and then found some support down around $3. Okay, so it then climbed up here, and we can see here slowly here, this slow rise here. We see some nice volume start to pick up through here. Now we're getting momentum kicking into positive territory. We get the trend reversal back through here. This was the official trend reversal level here, but we didn't quite get trend intensity confirmation there. So I looked to the next resistance level, which was up here, to give me a signal that this is going to move on, move higher. And it's had a little bit of a jump here, bit of a pullback this week, but looking okay. Our first stop potentially is around 390, and then we've got the top up here around 480. So again, I'm trying to understand why these moves occur. I'm not too sure, and I try not to explain too much. I try to look at what's important to me. And the trend reversal is important, the break of the moving average is important, the volume is important, the momentum is important. All these things are important to me, and that's about it. I'm not looking at other things to confuse me. So it's a very focused view, but as you see, another nice little trend reversal, and the response has been pretty good. So we're looking for this to continue higher. The next one, we know APA Groups had a good trend reversal again, a big downtrend. It's being reversed, which we like. We get the pattern here, we get the break above the average, the trend line, then it breaks this resistance level up here. So this whole area here is what I'm focused on to give me the change from downtrend to uptrend. So now we've got a trend reversal, and the stock, it had a rally, it had a pullback, and it's now rallying again. And you can see this volume through here, you can see that volume there, very heavy through that small rally here. That evidence that starts to pick up. This is how you get to sort of get the early indication of what's going to happen. So when I see volume like that, although it doesn't give me a signal, it gives me an early bit of evidence that I need. And all this evidence that I build, volume, moving average, momentum, all gives me the evidence that I need to say, okay, this is going to be a buy. So trend intensity rating is +8, plenty of potential here, and as long as we work with the stop, we've got a very good risk-reward trade on these trend reversals. So far, these are all working quite nicely, I think. Not going to go through the roof straight away, but the pattern is developing, and the price advances are developing nicely. So that's all positive to me. Okay, Telstra Group. Okay, let me just squeeze this up a little bit, so what happened there. Okay, so we can see Telstra again, which we know, and I followed this one for a while, but it's been a really good trade and worked very well. From our high low here, we've got a break up through here. In fact, we've got the break back through here, came back, didn't hit our stop, then it's rallied through here to a new high and a new high again, and on it's gone. And this has been a really strong move, surprisingly enough. So from $3.40 up to around $4.90 at the moment, and looking good, making new highs again this week. Trend intensity rating is +9. We've got beautiful volume through here. We've got beautiful momentum. It's above the average. The picture is as clear as day to me, and I just follow this trend with a stop because I don't know where it's going to end. But another good trend reversal, which has given us a really good signal on Telstra. And again, often these patterns are in a situation where sentiment can be quite dour and negative because we've had downtrends and we've had negative news, but things change, and often price advances well before the actual fundamental changes or the news changes or sentiment changes. So this has been a very good move, and we've just watched this move go higher and higher and higher, and really, as you can see there's been about two pullbacks throughout the whole move. Okay, so 2 down weeks through the whole move, which is a really strong move and a really good sign of strength. So that's Telstra. Again, another, whether you call it a boring stock or whatever you call it, it's a stock that's rallying and it's making money for us, so that's good. Okay, the next one I want to go to is Linus. Again, it's been, the rare earths have been a little bit, not such a happy place for a while, but all of a sudden we're starting to get this move going. We've got it. These bottoms up there, they're interesting the way they develop. With the downtrend here and all this choppy stuff here, which is hard. In fact, we did get a trend reversal back here, and it rallied quite well, but then we got stopped out of that move. Wasn't much damage there, but again, sometimes this will happen. So don't be put off. If you get the pattern again, make sure you follow it. Don't just worry about your anchor buys. If I made a loss the last week and it didn't work, then I'm going to worry about this one as well. This one jumped nicely, it came back again, didn't hit our stop, but now it's rallying nicely. All of a sudden rare earths are becoming important again, so we're starting to see this move again. So we can see this move here was a good rally through here. Then the sellers hit this market quite heavily actually and pulled it back, but the buyers have got back on board again and pushed it higher, above the average. Volume's a bit mixed there, but we're still getting high prices. It's our weight of evidence argument, remember. Momentum is good and it's above the average. So our next target on this one here is up around 11.50, 11.30 for Linus rare earths. That looks like where it might be heading. Okay, so nice little trend reversal again. So you can see all these trend reversals have worked very nicely indeed for us. Okay. So the last one we've got Charter Hall. Again, unfortunately, I'm not going to be covering the LICs, REITs and the ETFs into the new year. I'll have to change some things on my license to do that, but that's okay. I'm going to work on that one and hoping we'll get them back a bit later on in the year. So Charter Hall, for those who are in this stock, I think there's Stockland, Vicinity Centres, Charter Hall, and there's another one there. Can't remember which one it is. We hold these ones, so when they do come off the screen there, just make sure if you're in them, follow them with your stop. Keep your stop 10 or 15% behind. If it starts to slow down, if the market starts to slow down, you can tighten your stop, but just make sure you can manage it yourself quite easily. Just keep an eye on the moves and make sure you don't err from the trade plan. Charter Hall here, again, we had a very good stop. A very good trend reversal here, above this level here at around 365. Great volume, momentum kicked in. We had that alignment of the stars. In fact, most of these ones you see that alignment of the stars that occurs when we get the trend reversal break. We get the volume, we get the momentum, and we're also above the moving average if we're making a new high anyway. So, but this trend reversal has been quite a nice one for Charter Hall and some of those other little REITs, and follow them if you can, because they may well continue on higher and be a good trade for you. So that's another good trend reversal that we've followed there. EBOS Group, probably the only one that we really haven't got. It's broken higher and hasn't really performed. We're still in it because our stop hasn't gone off. Some people prefer to get out and wait to a new high and we'll get back in, but I prefer just to wait until my stop goes off, and if it doesn't go off, I hold in it. So I'm still in here, and frustratingly so maybe for some, trend intensity rating has dropped to a +5, which is not fantastic, but it's still a hold. So that's where I stand there. And again, you never know. You can see it's a bit of a struggle on the volume basis here, and the momentum is sort of limping along there just above the zero level. So it's sort of still there, but only just holding there, and it could crack out, I don't know, or it may rally. We just don't know what's going to happen there, so we still hold on EBOS. So that's another trend reversal that we followed. Okay, so I've got a couple more for you. ASX, which has been a very interesting one because sentiment has always been quite bad against this stock, and we see this week it's come off there. I think there's going to be a review of the ASX and certain areas of their performance, of how they've been behaving, and that's shocked the market. But again, we've seen the market come back up again this week. It did sell off a bit, so we've got a trend reversal here, downtrend to moving to uptrend after an accumulation phase. Trend intensity rating is still +8, so it's still a positive sign. The volume's still okay. So again, we're in this situation where perhaps news is not fantastic, and we all love to hate the ASX. They charge me a fortune for royalties and all these sorts of things, but it's going up. So, we just have to follow what we know, which is these rules of price action, moving average, volume and momentum, those things that I look at all the time to give me the guidance that I need, and without confusing it or adulterating it with any other bits of information that we can think about. It may be reasons that we want to put into our mind, well, I don't want to buy this stock because of that, but really the focus has got to be on what your system says and what your strategy says to do. And my strategy says to hold the ASX for the moment, so we'll wait and see how that works out. So as far as EBOS and ASX are probably the two underperformers, but the rest of them have all been pretty strong. So that's the trend reversals I've looked at this week. There's one more I want to look at, which is Atlas Arteria, which has just really turned the corner. Again, we can see a big downtrend here. We're now starting to see this break of the downtrend, break of the moving average, which gives us our first clue. We start to see a bit of volume come through here. Bit of volume support, green bars right through here, starting to rally through here. We've got no new low here. Okay, so we get a higher low, it then pushes above this resistance level, gives us a trend reversal. Okay, we've got volume, momentum starts to kick into zero. Again, the same pattern, same similar pattern holds all the time. So you can look all the way back through this chart and look at these things, but it's only these very few rare points that these all happen at the same sort of time. And that's what's happened to that Atlas Arteria. Its trend intensity rating is +8. It does yield a bit, so you get paid a bit of money for holding it. It looks interesting, I think. And so that's all the trend reversals I've got for you today, all 10 of them. 2 of them, ASX, EBOS, we'll just watch those ones, but the rest of them are all performing pretty well. Megaport, TPG, Metcash, you can see the list of them there, all doing very nicely indeed. So it's a very useful thing, the trend reversal. So that's one of the 2 patterns I use, that and the new high. Okay, so I just want to go through the trend reversal thing like I did with the new high last week, just give you a few pointers on why I follow them. Okay, so firstly, trend reversals, why? Okay, same as a new high. An uptrending stock market has an upward bias. The probabilities are that the market's going to go higher rather than lower. So that's why I like to work on that side of the market. Psychological effect, a change in behaviour from down to up. And you get this reshuffling of short positions to long positions. So people who've been short in there, they change their positions to long because the market starts to go against them, and you've got the new buying coming in there, which means you've got an abundance of buyers and not many sellers, so the market has to rise until that comes back into balance. Okay, so that's why I like that. It gives us a bit of leverage there when we get that change in behaviour and the market in balance. Again, like a new high, we've got price structure guidance, so we can get points where to put our stop. It might be a low, it might be a moving average. We get points that trigger trend reversals and new highs, clear points of new highs, price points that we can follow, and that gives us the guidance that we need to set our levels for you, if you like. So, and then again, it's a weight of evidence, as you can see before. Often, the downtrend line and the moving average, often the first ones to go. It then often double bottoms, or you get the higher low pattern which occurs. Then slowly we get a new high above the previous resistance level from the initial rally. And that's a weight of evidence change. So you can see I'm building the evidence throughout. The main evidence behind it is an uptrending stock market, and the move from downtrend to accumulation to uptrend to distribution to downtrend, the cycle goes on. So I'm just following that cycle. The only part of the cycle that I'm interested in is the uptrend part, which is what trend reversals trigger. Okay, and often you'll find sentiment is still negative. We're still going through the process. People are still negative because the downtrend has made them very fearful or very, despondent or despairing. And until the prices start to rise, do people respond. And hopefully, as a technical analyst or a price analyst, we can get in on the early stages because we get the evidence appears here in the chart before before the prices really start to rise and before the market sentiment changes significantly. Okay, so that's the trend reversals for you and the new highs last week. That's all I focus on. It's fairly simple. I don't adulterate it with anything else. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of, if you have a strategy, whatever it may be, focus on what it is, focus on those important things you know about, focus on the things that you believe, manage your risk always, which is a big part of my portfolio strategy. So all those sort of things, just keep your focus, okay? So what's happening at Stockradar? This is the disclaimer that you can read. Unfortunately, there'll be no video next week. I'm actually going in to have a knee replacement on Wednesday, and so I won't be around next week. I hope to be along for the following week. All depends how things go. But in the meantime, you can take a free trial. I'll still be trying to update this weekend if I can, to keep all the stops rising and the TORs updated, things like that. So you can check out the Premier page that I've got, the Trading Centre, which has all that information on for you. Published each Sunday with our covered stocks, all boxed up in that simple, easy to read tabulated format for you. Okay. So hopefully I'll get that updated on the weekend. So apart from that, that's about all I've got for you today. Again, focus on what you do, focus on what you know, focus on what works, and that'll keep you safe. And don't let yourself get pushed off the road. You know, you've got to keep on the road. You don't want to have a crash and fall off the road. Make sure you keep going straight and follow those things you need to follow, and don't detour. Trend reversals are worth waiting for, okay? Look at them, follow them. Don't worry about what people think. Just if you get these signals, follow them, okay? They often occur when sentiment is still negative, and for me, that is perfect, just how I like it, okay? So there we've got it for today. That's all I've got for today. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. Okay, thanks very much, and I'll see you later.